Hi, my name is Terry. If you haven't been to my channel before, I go by the name Mindful Recycle, both on my YouTube channel and in my eBay store. I will link my eBay store down below if you want to check it out. Today I am going to do a what sold video for the last 10 days. First off, I am going to start with items that I purchased a couple weeks ago. They are called Mr. Christmas, and they are definitely something you want to be on the lookout for because most of them are very valuable. So I just listed most of them, and within 24 hours, 2 of them sold to the same person internationally, and they had already messaged me and saw that there was a flaw on one of them, and they were still just so excited to be able to get these items. So let me show you what they look like. Oh, and I had picked these up at a garage sale. It popped up early in the morning. I had been searching for garage sales the night before and didn't see it. And then in the morning when I was having my coffee, I saw it popped up that they had a lot of Department 56. And so I rushed over there. They didn't say anything about the Mr. Christmas. So I was the first one there to grab all of them. This one apparently was a very popular one. I had immediately a whole bunch of watchers on it. So paid $30 and I'm selling it for $349. And this one is in really good condition. There was nothing wrong with this one. The second one that I sold is this racetrack, and I paid $25 for this, and this one sold for $400. And I did mention that the scoreboard lights are not working, and there's 2 lamp posts here, and I showed a close-up of the picture. One of the lamp posts is broken, and you can see the light, the little tiny light is exposed. I have a feeling that because that broke and the wiring is disconnected, that is the reason it is not working properly. But the horses go around. It is really a cool item. Obviously very sought after also because it did sell for $400. So these are both going to the same buyer internationally. I'm assuming he probably, I haven't looked it up yet, paid at least a couple $100 for shipping all the way there. So last night I did this more of the Mr. Christmas, and this was one of them. This is an accessory. This is the clock tower, the town clock tower. When I woke up this morning, it was sold, and it was to the same buyer that just bought those other 2. I paid $7.50 for this, and it sold for $30. I purchased this on a challenge that I had participated in from Courtney at Bolo Buddies. Check out her channel if you haven't seen it already. She did a challenge about 6 months ago, so you can go to her channel and check out how to become a member if you wanted. She is not paying me to say this. I just love Courtney over there, and she has definitely helped me out a lot. So the challenge was we had to set our timer, go into a Goodwill or thrift store. We had to pick out 3 items to sell on eBay, and you only had 15 minutes to do it. And whoever had not necessarily the highest priced items, but just who had some cool items. This is one of the ones that I found. It's a Frank Lloyd Wright design. It had the paperwork with it. The little clock inside is actually Boulevard quartz. I paid $9.99 for this at Goodwill, and I sold it for $57. I picked this DVD player up at a garage sale a couple months ago. Finally just got it listed about a month ago. I paid $20, but it did sell for $70 plus shipping. All my items are plus shipping. I do not have free shipping ever. The buyer always pays for shipping. This is a Gears of War gaming figure, and I got this at Goodwill for $14.99. It was very dusty. I definitely had to do some cleaning on him, but he did sell for $65. I purchased this metal man cave sign. It's Seattle Seahawks. I purchased it for $4.99 at Goodwill, and it sold for $50. I purchased this sweet little vintage, semi-vintage, it's probably from the early 90s, I would say. It is Laura Ashley. The print on it is so sweet. And I had it listed for $62. Somebody reached out and asked if they could have it for $50 plus shipping, and I accepted. I don't usually sell clothes. I don't like to take measurements, and I've heard that, you know, there can be a lot of returns if it doesn't fit somebody, but I will pick something up if it looks really special like this, and I just had a feeling about this. I also picked up at the same sale, they had these these corduroy vintage jumpsuits, and I've listed 2 of them so far, and they both sold very quickly. I can see definitely why people list clothes. They're so easy to ship out compared to huge boxes that I will ship out sometimes. I'm going to show you one pretty soon here. My old coworker was having a sale for a friend of hers, and she was a embroidery quilter. She had so much equipment for sale. She had like Pfaff machines and just a lot of that type of stuff, sewing stuff. And I purchased a lot of the Pfaff embroidery hoops, and this particular one is like a smart card station. It has like this little component in there, but the other ones are pretty much just the embroidery hoops. They're plastic. I've already sold, I think, 2 or 3 of those very quickly for close to $100. I think I might be showing that in a minute here. But this one I paid $5 for, and I sold it for $100. I purchased this Kirkland Snow Village in the summer for $20. I just now got it listed, and it sold very quickly for $91. I usually pick up the Kirkland nativity sets. I don't think I've ever seen a set like this, but thought it was pretty cool, and it was, because it sold fast. So my last item that I'm going to show you that I actually have in my possession that I haven't shipped out yet is a train set. It is a Disney replica. As soon as you walk into Disneyland, the train station is right there, and it has this red train. Well, this is a replica. I bought 2 of these. They were identical at an estate sale. I paid $325 for each one, but when I ran the comps, when I was there and ran a quick comp, I was really surprised how much one had sold for, and so I scooped them both up. It was a little bit risky because there were no others listed, and there was only 1 sold comp. So the first one I had listed a couple months ago, and it sold very quickly. I think I had it on a 7-day auction, and I had 1 bidder, and they paid $2,400 for it. Now that one was brand new in box. It had never been taken out. This other one that I have was really nice. It had been used. There were a couple pieces that were broken off, so I took it to our local train shop called Whistle Stop in Portland, Oregon, and they went through the whole thing. They put it back together for me, made sure that all the pieces were secure, lubed it, ran it on the track. It was just running beautifully. And so I posted all of that in the listing, that it had been completely gone through. Here it is right here. You can see it. And I'll also throw up a screenshot so you can see what it looks like. I actually paid the same amount for this, $325, and again, this one sold for $2,400. I seem to be picking up a lot of train stuff in the past year, and it sells so well. You can usually find the name and the number on the train to do a quick lookup, but I have been selling so many trains. It's Tyco and LGB. I don't typically sell Lionel. I think the market got overflooded unless you have something that's in mint condition, and I just don't sell those. I don't find those to be very profitable, but I'm sure they are if it's in the right condition. So my next items that I have sold in the past 10 days are already shipped out. So I'm going to quickly go through those and show you some screenshots. So the first one is the Pfaff. Remember, I showed you earlier in this video the item that I had picked up from a friend's sale they were having. Well, this one I also paid $5 for, and this is just a Pfaff loop. I think it goes with the machine, and it holds down your materials for doing embroidery. So again, I paid $5 for this, and I sold it for $89. I picked up this Sawyer Viewmaster film cutter a couple weeks ago. I went to an estate sale that I was very excited about because they had shelves and shelves full of old vintage lunchboxes and Breyer horses. Well, we all dashed in there, and the prices were eBay prices, so nobody was buying any of them. I went into the back room looking for other things, ended up in the bookshelf, and was sorting through all the books for about a half an hour, found a few good ones, and decided to look around the rest of the room, looked in the closet. This box was shoved way in the back, pulled it out, opened it up, did a quick comp on it, and it was selling for $15. And I saw the comps were right around $75, but when I got home, it was comping out even higher than that. So I listed it for $225, and it sold in about a week. So that was a great find at a very expensive estate sale. This Escort passport, I have sold probably 3 or 4 of these now. I picked this one up for $10 and sold it for $125. They are radar detectors. It seems like every time I sell them, they go out international. I was visiting my mom at the beginning of the summer over in Southern Oregon, which is about a 5-hour drive from me. And of course I had to go sourcing, and I picked up my first batch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't usually get trading cards because I don't know anything about them. So I only paid $5, figured it's not very risky, and I finally got them listed. I realized that there is an app that you can actually scan your cards to see exactly the value of them, whether they are Magic cards or Pokemon cards or these cards that I have, these Yu-Gi-Ohs. The app is called TCG Player. Very useful. So I had this card on auction for $49 for a week, and it sold. I purchased this heated mattress pad cover at the end of last winter, so I kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to sell. I did pay $25 for it, and it sold pretty quickly now that it's winter again, and it sold for $64. I got this Cuisinart Griddler new in box for $20, and I sold it for $70. I purchased this tripod at an estate sale on the last day. Everything was half off. So originally it was $25, and I picked it up for $12.50, and it sold for $50. My creepy lunging Lilly. It's a Spirit Halloween vintage item. I was at a warehouse sale. It was somebody who cleans out storage units and resells. And so they were having a sale, asked him if it was working, and he wasn't sure, and he said, oh, you can just have it. And so I had it sitting there forever. I finally opened it up because she wasn't lunging, she was doing everything else. Her eyes glowed, her mouth moved, she had a voice and creepy music, and it was just super creepy, but she wasn't lunging. And so I opened up the compartment where the gears are and saw that there was a broken gear. So I took it out and took it to a 3D printer, and they did not a very good job. So the gear didn't work, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And Halloween was approaching, and so I just sold it as is. I had it on a 7-day auction, and it sold for $156. The person did message me and say that they were planning on also doing a 3D printing of the gear with heavy duty plastic, and if that didn't work, they were going to have one done in metal. I didn't know they actually did 3D printing in metal, so I thought that was kind of cool. This lot of Barbies has been very time consuming, kind of a nightmare for me, so I'm glad they're out. Although I was also feeling like I could have got a lot more money for them if I had split them up in lots and sold them that way, but I already had so much time and energy into it. I just kind of had them listed high and started dropping the price, and then had quite a few watchers on it and sent out an offer for $800 to, I don't know, maybe 7 or 10 viewers, and somebody accepted for $800. So I'm just glad to get them out of here. They were all in my living room in big bins, and they're gone. I picked up my first jersey. I have never picked up and sold any jerseys. I picked up this Seattle Mariners jersey, and it was an all-star one from 2001. I picked it up for $5, had it on a 7-day auction, and had a little bit of a bidding war going on it, and it sold for $167. I got this GTD power mixer at it was an estate sale that somebody was putting on themselves. It wasn't professionally ran, and they had this in the garage. It was very dusty and no price tag on it. He said he'd take $25 for it. Had it listed for probably a week or less, and it sold for $75. I picked up quite a few Breyer horses early in the summer, and I paid $10 for this one, and it sold for $150. At that same sale that I bought the Breyer horse at, I picked up, they're only about this big, 3 of them, of these little perfumes. They were brand new, and I paid $1 for them, and I sold them for $45. Just to let you know, eBay is not letting us sell used perfume anymore. And we cannot sell even brand new perfume if it's not in its original box. I have called eBay twice asking this same question, because I see that there is still a lot of used perfume and vintage perfume out there. And they said you definitely cannot sell it. It is a new rule. And just wanted to let you all know that, you know, you could get a warning if you are selling perfume that is used or does not have its original box. So be careful. You might want to take it down. Luckily, I didn't have a whole lot in my store right now, but I took all mine down and just donated it. I was at an estate sale quite a few months ago and found this really cool 70s sleeping bag. It's football theme. So all of the different football teams, some of their logos have changed over the years. So these are their logos from the 70s, which is kind of cool. I was there with another one of my friends, Estella, and she actually found the pillow to it, and she just handed it over to me. It was very nice of her. So I had the set. I don't see any other sets like this listed. I only see the sleeping bag. So it was really cool to get them both. And I threw them both in the washer and dryer, and they turned out just fine. So I picked it up for $5 for both of them, and they sold for $52. I actually have 3 of these cookbooks. So this is the first one to sell. I think I had them priced a little bit too high. Vincent Price, the actor from maybe the 60s or 70s, he put out a cookbook with his wife, but it was a cookbook from all the famous restaurants all over the United States. I think some of them were out of the country. Yes, they were. So it was all over Europe as well. And I picked this up for $1, and I sold it for $40, and I still have 2 more to sell. So my last item is another Yu-Gi-Oh card out of that same stack that I got for $5. This one was a little bit more special. I put it on an auction starting at, I think it was $99 or $150, and the auction ended at $199. It's going international. So that was pretty exciting. I picked up this Mega Blocks. I love picking up these new in box, and Lego, of course, too, are great resale items. I picked this up for $15 and had it listed for about a month, and it sold for $100. So that is it for today, and thank you for watching. Give a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you did not. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You can also hit the bell if you want to be notified when I get a new video out. Thank you.